You're thinking of downsizing, and part of the downsizing process is decluttering. And I know it can be really daunting to downsize. I've downsized myself and had to go through that decluttering process. And the reason it's daunting is because there's a lot of emotion involved often. You don't know where to begin, you don't know what to do with stuff. I truly get that. And in this video, I'm going to give you some really simple and easy steps to make it really manageable. And truly, it is a manageable process. Hi, my name's Deirdre. I'm a real estate broker, and I help empty nesters downsize in the Wellington and Waterloo regions of Ontario. I help reduce the stress, the overwhelm, the anxiety that comes with downsizing using my 5-step process I call your next chapter. And before we begin, I want you to hit the subscribe button and press the like button so that more people like you can see this video. So thanks. So let's begin. So where are you now with your downsizing process? Well, you're probably feeling very emotional about certain things. Maybe logistically, it can be really hard, and ultimately it can be draining. And truly, it doesn't have to be. What's waiting for you on the other side of downsizing is a simpler life, which is what you're looking for, I'm sure. Also, what you're looking for are things surrounding you that bring you joy and things that are useful and that you use on a regular basis. It's not things that you're keeping because maybe your grandchildren might be able to use it in the future, or it might be worth some money in the future, or maybe it will be used by somebody and you're not really sure, but you're keeping it just in case. So if you're using words like it might be, maybe if, or just maybe, those are indications that you're not using those items and they're just cluttering your life. And that's not really what you're looking for. You're looking for something where you're surrounded by those things that bring you joy, that they're useful. So how do you begin this process? Well, first, it's by planning and setting small goals for yourself. The planning part begins with putting it in your calendar for when you're going to declutter. Because here's the truth. If you don't have it in your calendar, then there's always going to be other priorities that take over decluttering, because nobody looks forward to decluttering in general. So put it in your calendar and also set a time limit. Start small. Start with 15 or 20 minutes. You want to build momentum and you want to honor that time that you put in there. So if you put in one day for 20 minutes and you actually end up doing 45, what is likely going to happen in the future is when you have the next time you schedule it and you have 20 minutes to declutter, you're going to think back that I know I put 20, but really it turned out to be 45. And you know what? I don't really have 45 minutes. I don't really want, and you'll talk yourself out of it. So honor the day and the time commitment, and you're going to build momentum. And maybe over the time, that time will improve to 45 minutes or an hour or maybe even longer. So plan your time, set small goals that are realistic, and honor them. So what about the stuff? Now, dealing with all that stuff. Well, I've got some really tough news to give you. Most people don't want your stuff. I know it's sad, but it's true. You know, the china, the sterling silver, the Royal Dalton figurines, the Hummels, people don't want. And the reason they don't want it is because our lifestyle has changed from when you bought those things. Our lifestyle today is much more casual, less formal, and those things are much more formal in nature. And so they just don't suit our more casual, contemporary lifestyle. And the other thing that is, design changes are happening much faster. So whereas you used to buy a dining room set and it would go through your grandmother and yours and maybe your future children, now people are replacing their furniture, their kitchens, their paint colors much more frequently. So those things that you have, unfortunately, most people don't want. So what do you do with the things that you do have that people do want? Well, first of all, you have to put a value on them. And most of this has to do with furniture and pieces like dining room sets, chairs, mirrors, all that sort of stuff. Well, here's my recommendation. Be really realistic because it's not worth the value that you might think it is. And the best way to determine that value is to go on Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace and look at similar items and see what price they're offering for, and also look at how long that posting has been up for. So if it has been up for 10 days, 15 days, 20 days or more, then I can tell you that it's overpriced. It takes time to sell items. I know, I've gone through it, and it can be a bit of a hassle. So you want things that are going to move, and you want to be realistic. You don't want it to sit because it goes stale very quickly on places like Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace. And here's the thing, I'll tell you a quick story about some furniture I had. I had my parents' bedroom furniture, beautiful, solid mahogany, beautiful detailing, in great shape. And the dresser I sold for, I think, $100 or $150. The beds I just gave away, solid wood, way better than the IKEA stuff you'd buy. People aren't looking for that sort of stuff. They're looking for more contemporary, kind of the IKEA stuff. It's unfortunate, but it's true. So when you go to downsize, I'm going to offer you two approaches to decluttering. So the first I call the Marie Kondo way. If you don't know who Marie Kondo is, she's a Japanese super organizer who is very, very popular. And she organizes things and declutters by category. And what I mean by category is like things. So books, small appliances, clothing, shoes and boots. Things that are similar, you bring together in one room. So let's use the example of books. So you don't just go through your cookbooks and then you go through your fiction books and then maybe your business books. You bring them all into one room and you look at them all at one time. And as you look at each item, you say, does this bring me joy, or am I using it on a regular basis? And if you can't say yes to either one of those things or both of those things together, then you set it aside to deal with later. So now you deal with all that one category at one time. So you deal with your books, maybe you deal with all your shoes and clothes, because they may not necessarily all be in one spot. They might be in your basement, they might be in your bedroom, they might be in your hall closet. So you bring them all together and you go through it. And it's amazing when you do it as a category, how you realize you've got extra things that really aren't bringing you joy or that you're not using on a regular basis, particularly clothes, because you may be keeping clothes because when I lose that 10 pounds, I've got these great pair of pants to wear, or this might come back in fashion. Yeah, all of that, don't do it. Keep only the things that you're using on a regular basis. So now you've gone through things by category. The other approach is then you go through room by room. And what I recommend is you do one room at a time so that you again go back and build that momentum. So start with a spare bedroom, start with a linen closet. What I don't recommend is you start with really bigger spaces, like garages or basements are really daunting, and they can really suck the momentum out of this whole process. So start small and move to those bigger spaces. And so when you go through those spaces, what you're going to do is you're going to set things in donate or give away, trash or sell. So you decide that you're going to donate or give away places like Value Village, Salvation Army. There's lots of places that you can donate things. And here's one of the things that people often feel when they're going to donate, that they're actually sort of giving themselves away and that people aren't appreciating. Nobody wants my, my leftover whatever. But here's the thing, you're actually paying it forward because you're donating it for somebody else to use who is anonymous to you. It may make a huge difference in their lives. Maybe you're helping a single mom who doesn't have the money to use those old set of bowls that you no longer use. Maybe it's a student who is using that now and they're starting their own apartment or living space. So donating and giving away is really a way to pay it forward. So now the next bin is to sell. And we've talked about selling, looking on Kijiji and Facebook Marketplace for those items. If you're seeing similar items and they've been on for 10 days, 15 days or more, then they're probably overpriced. So be realistic. And the last thing that we're going to look at is throwing things away. So if you're not going to donate or give it away and you're not going to sell it, then it goes into the trash, because those are the things that unfortunately they've had a good life, good run, but they're not needed anymore. So those are the things that I recommend, and taking these steps will make this whole process much more manageable, much less daunting, because one thing that you don't want to do is to leave your decluttering till the end when you're just about ready to sell, because that's going to add a lot of stress into your life, and you do not want the stress. There's inherent stress in moving anyways. Why add more stress when you don't have to? So make sure that you set aside a specific time that you honor, and then use that approach of categories or go by rooms. Then use the 3-bin approach: the donate, give away, sell, or the trash. So that's my simple tips that'll make it much more manageable for decluttering. Good luck, and thanks for listening. And remember to press subscribe and the like button so that more people like you can see this video. Thanks.